The internet thought it had already seen the worst of it. The late-night arguments. The icy red carpet appearances. The silent unfollow that sent millions into a spiral. But no one was ready for what happened next. Because when two unexpected voices stepped into the storm and told Shen Yue to stay with Dylan Wang for the sake of their children, the entire narrative shifted overnight. And what was said behind closed doors will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Stay with me until the very end, because the final decision Shen Yue makes will change everything. It began on a quiet afternoon that did not feel quiet at all. Shen Yue was seated in the corner of her living room, the curtains half drawn, sunlight spilling across the floor in pale streaks. The house felt larger than usual, emptier. The children were upstairs, their laughter softer than before, as if even they could sense the tension hanging in the air. Dylan Wang had left earlier that morning after another disagreement that started small and grew sharp. It was not one explosive moment. It was the accumulation of weeks. Misunderstandings. Long filming schedules. Rumors that would not disappear. The weight of public scrutiny pressing against a private marriage. Shen Yue had made up her mind. Or at least she believed she had. Her suitcase sat near the entrance. Half-packed. A silent declaration. She told herself this was strength. That walking away meant protecting her peace. That love should not feel like constant pressure. But deep beneath that determination was something fragile. A hesitation she refused to examine. Then the doorbell rang. She did not expect anyone. When she opened the door, she froze. Boat stood there first, calm but firm, eyes steady with purpose. Beside him was Oat, quieter but deeply observant, carrying an expression that revealed he understood the weight of what was about to unfold. They were not there for gossip. They were not there for drama. They were there because they cared. Shen Yue stepped aside slowly, allowing them inside. The air shifted instantly. Boat did not sit right away. He walked further into the living room, taking in the half-packed suitcase, the tense silence, the unspoken decision lingering in the space. "Is it true?" he asked gently. Shen Yue inhaled slowly. "I think I am done." The words felt heavy, like they landed on the floor between them. Oh glanced upstairs, where faint laughter echoed. "Have you told the kids?" he asked softly. Her eyes dropped. "Not yet." Boat finally sat across from her and leaned forward slightly. "I am not here to tell you to endure something unbearable. I am not here to dismiss your feelings. But I am here to remind you of something bigger than pride." Shen Yue stayed silent. "Think about the kids." The words were not loud. They were steady.
Calm. Direct.
And they struck deeper than anything else had. Boat continued, his voice firm but compassionate. "They do not understand schedules. They do not understand rumors. They only understand that their mother and father are their entire world. If you walk away right now, will it be because the love is truly gone, or because the noise outside has become too loud?" Shen Yue felt something tighten inside her chest. Oat spoke next, measured and thoughtful. "Marriage is not quiet. It is not always romantic. Sometimes it is messy. Sometimes it is exhausting. But children do not need perfect parents. They need parents who try. Parents who fight for stability before walking away." Shen Yue's composure began to crack. "You think I have not tried," she whispered. Boat's gaze softened. "I know you have. But have you tried without fear? Without letting the world dictate your emotions? You and Dylan built something real. Do not let outside voices destroy what your children still believe in." At that moment, a small pair of footsteps echoed down the staircase. One of the children appeared, rubbing sleepy eyes, confused by the tension in the room. Shen Yue immediately stood, her expression shifting to warmth as she knelt down. "Where is Daddy?" the child asked innocently. The question sliced through the air. Shen Yue hesitated. Boat watched silently. "He will be back later," she replied gently. The child nodded and hugged her tightly before running back upstairs. Silence returned. Boat exhaled slowly. "That right there is your answer." Tears welled in Shen Yue's eyes. Not dramatic, not loud, just quiet and overwhelming. She realized that her pain was valid. Her frustration was real. But so was the family they had created. So was the love that had once been strong enough to build a home. Oat leaned forward. We are not saying stay no matter what. We are saying do not leave without exhausting every possibility. Do not make a permanent decision based on temporary storms. Shen Yue sat back down slowly. For the first time that day, she looked at the suitcase and did not see strength. She saw escape. Later that evening, Dylan Wang returned unexpectedly. He paused when he saw Boat and Oat inside. The tension was immediate. Boat stood up and faced him directly. She is hurting, he said plainly. And you are too. But before either of you make a choice that changes your children forever, you need to talk without anger. Dylan's eyes moved to Shen Yue. For a moment, the world outside disappeared.
No cameras. No headlines.
Just two people who once promised forever. I do not want to lose this, Dylan said quietly. Shen Yue's breath caught. Then fight for it, she replied. The conversation that followed was not cinematic. It was not polished. It was raw, honest, vulnerable. They spoke about exhaustion, about feeling misunderstood, about the fear of failing publicly, about the pressure of being watched constantly. Boat and Oat eventually stepped outside, giving them space. Inside, something shifted. It was not a magical reconciliation. It was not instant healing. But it was a decision to try again, to seek counseling, to prioritize family dinners over late-night events, to protect their home from outside chaos. Hours later, Shen Yue walked to the door where her suitcase still waited. She looked at it for a long moment. Then she slowly unzipped it and began putting the clothes back into the closet. Not because she was weak, but because she was choosing to fight. When the news eventually leaked that Boat and Oat had intervened, the internet exploded. Some praised them. Others criticized the advice. But none of them had seen the tears upstairs. None of them had heard the small voice asking where Daddy was. Shen Yue later posted a simple message. Family is not perfect, but it is worth fighting for. And in that quiet house, far from the noise of the world, two parents sat side by side on the edge of their children's beds, watching them sleep peacefully. The storm had not fully passed, but they had decided to face it together. And sometimes, that decision is where the real story begins.